Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Center for Spiritual Living Charlotte. Today, I'm your host, Alan, and we are glad you've chosen to join us on this last Sunday in December. Whether this is your first time or if you keep coming back because we spread so much joy in your life, we honor your presence in our wonderful community. Now, today's talk title is The Wonders of Spiritual Living. And I brought along a quote to go along with today's theme. Everything has its wonders, even darkness and silence. And I learn, whatever state I may be in, therein to be content. And that is a quote by Helen Keller. So I invite you to reflect on the ups and the downs of this year, the highlights, the low points, and to be content with the whole journey and with where you are right now. And I invite you to just think about your journey as we listen to the talk and to the announcements today. Also, I encourage you to follow us on YouTube and on Facebook. We ask that you like, comment, and to share with all your friends all the wonderful things we do here. So now I invite you to just relax, get settled in, grab a nice hot coffee, or in my case, a hot tea, as I pass the mic over to our fabulous, radiant Reverend Rosedale Jones.
Thank you, Alan. That was my right-hand man. That's Alan Lilly. Anyway, welcome to CSL Charlotte. We are the Mind, Body, Spirit Center. And right now, we are in between times where 2025 is finding its way out and 2026 is finding its way in. So with that being said, say yes. And Happy New Year. Even more beautifully, say Happy New You to everyone. And welcome to the next unfolding of who you are already. So the first thing we're going to do today is open our Sunday celebration with an affirmative prayer, which will be my fabulous friend, Dr. Wanda Wayman. And we're going to be all about the wonders of spiritual living today. So first, let's listen to Dr. Wanda and think about the wonders of spiritual living today, because it is wonderful. Wonder is curiosity, but it's full of wonder. So with that being said, let's go. Dr. Wanda, pray us in.
Good morning. I'm happy to be here this morning. So as we begin, I began in gratitude. I put myself in that space of gratitude for everything is as it should be. We acknowledge the presence of divine life, infinite love and boundless wisdom that flows through all creation and lives within each of us. This presence is here now, whole, complete, and active, guiding us, uplifting us, and calling us into deeper awareness. We affirm that spiritual living is not distant or reserved for another time. It is alive in this very moment. It is expressed through compassion, clarity, courage, and kindness. It shows itself in the quiet knowing of our hearts and in the everyday choices that reflect love. We know that as we open our minds and hearts today, we become more receptive to truth, to healing, and to the gentle power of spirit moving through as and in us. We affirm that insight unfolds naturally, understanding deepens effortlessly, and the peace anchors us firmly in the present. We celebrate the wonder of spiritual living, the miracle of being guided, supported, and renewed by an unseen yet ever-present love. We affirm that each person here is divinely inspired, perfectly equipped, and exactly where they need to be. So it is with this gratitude, trust, and joyful expectancy that I dedicate this service to awakening growth and the remembrance of who we truly are. So join me in saying, and so it is.
Dr. Wanda, for bringing us into the bit of spiritual living. So next on our platform is our reader, that's Reverend Sonja Prince. Now, she is my friend and powerful colleague also. So listen to Reverend Sonja's reading, and you're going to understand the wonders of spiritual living just almost the same way as Dr. Wanda described it, but she will be she will just be poetic with it. So Reverend Sonja's reading, after she's done, listen to the song Life's Changing Lyrics by Fearless Soul, and prepare yourself to appreciate the wonders of spiritual living. So, Reverend Sonja, make it do what it do.
Thank you, everyone. The reading today is titled Living in Wonder by Reverend Rosedale Jones. Wonder is a gateway to the soul, the bridge between what we see and what we sense. It is the spark that ignites curiosity and deepens our connection through our oneness with Spirit. Each breath is a miracle, a rhythm of existence that quietly sustains us. Each sunrise paints the sky with new possibilities, and each interaction we share is an opportunity to see our highest energy reflected back to us. Wonder is not reserved for fleeting moments. It's the steady pulse of a life lived with intention and joy. When we choose to live in wonder, we align with the infinite creative energy of the universe. We shift from asking, why me, to what's next. We stop looking for what is missing and start seeing what is already here. Wonder softens our resistance. It opens our hearts and gives us the courage to trust in a deeper truth, that life is always unfolding for our dominant good. To live in wonder is to step into the sacred dance of life. It's where logic meets mystery, where problems becomes puzzles, and where we find the courage to dream again. In wonder, we discover that the ordinary holds the seeds of the extraordinary, and the mundane is transformed into the miraculous. So today, you're invited to embrace wonder as your companion. Let it lift your spirits, clear your vision, and guide your steps towards a life that feels not only fulfilling, but divinely inspired. When you open to that, you're using your sense of wonder to guide you today and always. And lastly, a quote from Reverend Rosedale Jones. Wonder is the language of the soul, a quiet whisper from spirit, reminding us that life is not something to figure out, but something to marvel at. And so it is.
Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Warriors are powerful. So we're going to start with a short centering. Relax your eyes by looking into your lap or by closing them if you choose. Now breathe in really deep and really long and slowly exhale. Did you ever wonder what real warriors are and what they do? Well, they are people who find themselves riding high one day and shot down the next. But they're down in the valley sometimes. And even there, they get to come back out of it. That's the good news about going down into the valley. You get back to the mountaintop. See, true warriors, they live any way life comes. And when they get stuck in that mountain and below that valley, they get back up to the mountaintop and start to celebrate. So even though warriors have their ups and downs, they still know that life never stops. And see, that's just what real warriors know about themselves. Are you one of them? Because see, they are great at being stronger than yesterday and stronger than their past. But you know what? It's a strength that we all possess. That strength, even bigger examples of warriors, is that they know spiritual practices are the keys to life. So deepen your practice and get yourself up out of that valley when you see you getting too low, and get back up to that mountaintop really quickly, because it's your choice to wonder how to do it. And it's your choice. So I have simple question. Are you ready to ease into the wonders of spiritual living, the real wonders? And you're at choice. So think about it and start observing what you're hearing today and how does it match with your life? Because the wonders of spiritual living are definitely in your pocket right now. All of them, pull them out. So wiggle your fingers and your toes and integrate your mind, body, and your spirit. But as you look around your space, look around as if you have never been there before, as if you're new to it, and just allow something in your space to bring you back to this present moment. Wow. So what do I think about the wonders of spiritual life? Spiritual living is not just something you do when you're meditating or praying or actually showing up here on Sundays. It's amazing how so many people separate spiritual living, the wonders of it, from real life, the thing called life, because life is the same thing. It's all one life. No matter what you do, you have to just remember, imagination is everything in this teaching. Imagination is everything in your manifestations. You have to develop an imagination so that wonder can help you with your manifestations for the life you choose. First of all, do you choose a life? It's a way of life, wonder. And you know what? It's a mindset also. And this mindset, it's one that loves every moment of every day when you're praying, when you're paying attention to it. Now, just because something great happens, you could love that, right? Because you think it's easy. But if something not so good happens, can you love that too? That's the mindset that loves every moment of every day. You have the power to change it, but you're only looking at things one way if you're not wondering how to get out of that. If you're looking at life too closely or too seriously, you're not going to see the beauty you want to see because you're looking at things way too literally. Oh, well, I should have done it this way because since I prayed, I should have it right this minute. It's a little too serious. Consciousness is what we're looking for. Consciousness is shaped by what we're looking for, what we're looking at, and the lenses that we're looking with. Wow. What you're looking at, what you're looking for, and what you're looking with. When you're not aware of the lenses that you're looking with, fear finds its way to step right in easily, and it begins to do your looking, right? Isn't that something? That's what happens. So what you're looking for actually refers to your desires, right? Your intention and your wants. There's nothing wrong with wanting things. What we're searching for really shapes our perception. Perception influences what shows up in our experience. So looking with refers to which tools you use to interpret the world. So what am I looking at the world with? Am I looking at my awareness? Am I looking at it with my beliefs? Or am I looking at what I just learned? Am I looking at the world at what I just learned? Because if I am, I can see it better. I am not worried about what the president is doing because I'm looking at the world at a different light. I'm looking at it with me on top, not somebody in the White House. All our beliefs, past experiences, and our cultural background are the filters that affect how we perceive the world. So, looking at what that does is it reveals the focus of our attention and the quality of consciousness that we bring to it. Now, our sense of wonder and oneness with spirit must align. The sense of oneness and your oneness with spirit must align with what we're looking for, what we're looking, and what we're looking with. So when what you're looking for, at, and with are in harmony, we arrive at a higher consciousness. So for me, I believe life itself is a miracle. Did you notice my reading that Reverend Sonja read when she said, each breath is a miracle? A rhythm, that's what it is. It's the existence. It's that quiet that sustains us. But you know what? I wonder if you think that a breath is a miracle. Well, it's a miracle for me, though, because it's a miracle. It's a miracle for me just for the fact that I can even practice spiritual living, not just occasionally. I remember there was a time it was occasional for me. Now it's 10, 15, 20 times a day. That's a miracle. Miracles make my life flow a lot easier. It's a miracle that I am who I am today. The way I was looked, if I was believed in who I was back then, I would not be here. I would still be there. I can't stay there. I can't even stay here because life gets more miraculous and miraculous as the day go on. The people I meet, the things that I do with the different people, it's just variations of beauty and wonder. But here's the deal. The more I enjoy spiritual living, the happier I am. And my favorite mantra is each day, the better it gets, the better it gets. That's it. The better it gets, the better it gets. That's it. So spiritual living is a wonder. But I used to wonder at a lot back in the day, was I ever going to feel good about life some 30 years ago or whatever, in my younger 20s and 30s? But see, here's the thing. Wonder does not argue. It just listens. Instead of saying, I don't see anything yet. I mean, they're all happy and they're, what do I, that was me. I said, I hear what they're saying. They're saying all this great stuff. But when I learned this one thing, play with wonder. Wonder how your life could be better. What if? Why is wonder so extraordinary? Because it's curiosity. Did you know that curiosity is how miracles happen? Then again, that's just a matter of whether you are willing to wonder and focus on unexpected miracles. Most people that are not living the life that they're happy with, I noticed that it's not fun. They're not making it fun. They're not even smiling with their life. But here's what I learned. When I focus on my spiritual practices, life flows and as miracles happen. But guess how my miracles happen? Because of curiosity. I go, well, wonder what could happen if I did that. Well, what if I did this? Because I'm saying, what if? Guess what? That oneness with spirit and me just aligned itself. And then ideas come. But see, when you get the ideas, you got to use them, got to work on them. Most of the things we think about, let's think about this for a second and be honest. Most of the things we think about now, and you got to know it's money, it's shelter, and it's food. But let's not get fixated on these three things, but they are what? They are the most important necessities in life. Think about it. If money's up there with oxygen, you need it to live, right? Food is there with energy. You need it to keep moving. You've got to have a certain amount of carbs and fat and protein. You got to have that. That's what we got it for. That's why everything moves. 3 basic necessities of life. So first I had to accept back in the day that I had to change. So I created this wonder mindset over the years because I began to wonder, yeah, well, I wonder if I do all these things that they're saying in these classes, what would happen? Yeah. See, when you start saying, well, I hear that person did this and that person did that, I wonder if I do it. That's what you need to be doing. You need to be saying, I see Rosedale. She's always talking about these things are going higher and higher. But I wonder if I just sit down and do this, could I do better? Wow. Now my options show up when I'm wondering, especially during spiritual practices. Well, some people may call what life is miracles, but I call miracles now my reality. So instead of being frustrated about things, about life, about a single day in your life that's not seeming to go right, wonder how that day can be better. Well, what should it look like then if I don't like what's going on? What should it look like if I don't like my living conditions? What should it look like if I don't like how much money I'm making? What should it look like if I'm not happy that I'm not loved? What should it look like for you? Wonder about that. Again, wonder doesn't argue. Wonder listens. It just sits there doing nothing if that's what you're doing, and going along with doing nothing if that's what you're doing. So Reverend Sonia also said, wonder is not reserved for those fleeting moments. You hear that? It's that steady pulse of a life lived with intention and happiness or joy. But either way, did you know that when you say, what if you are in wonder? I let my mind wander in that all the time, especially when I wonder, well, what if I know where I'm at. I'm in a spiritual practice. The moment I said, what if I took this and put it over here? I could be making a meal. Well, what if I put some green onion, green peppers in here? Or what if I just saute? See? It's that simple. But everybody's looking for something so like, that's not a miracle. A miracle is to say to yourself something different than you used to say, like, what if? The miracle. It's in those lasting moments that my sense of wonder manifests more of my greater reality. That's when it is, when I'm just sitting there doing something very, very simple. So as I routinely train my mind, what I do is I shape my spiritual practices to increase my mind's ability to wonder. Because see, you can decrease your mind's ability to wonder by not using your practices. And so therefore you're still there. So you're vibrating on the, I hate this place, I'm not happy here, blah, 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 blah. And that's where your wonder is. So what if I just stayed here? You're literally in essence saying, see, I am so grateful for that. The thing I'm grateful for is being in this vibrational alignment. That's what it is. It's a vibrational alignment with my oneness with spirit, especially when I realized that, wow, you was just about to go down that road and you don't know, you don't want to be there. It reminds you when you wonder a lot. One of the things that I know with my oneness with spirit, what it does is it lures me into wonder. Because the moment I say, where are you going with that? I know right then, see, that's my cue. Because I can say, I don't like so-and-so. I didn't like what he said or she said or this and that. I can go there. But you know what? This is my entire healing right here. I said, where are you going with that? Now I started going, wow, that was ridiculous. And now that wonder is started, that oneness with spirit is now starting to lure me back into wonder. Well, I wonder if I had just said, I don't want to hear this conversation. But the problem was the other day, that was it. They were talking about this okay, Trump was I overheard it, and I don't want him to bring it over to me. And I know they were going to walk over here talking about it. But what did he do? Child, please. It was something to be that he got on John F. Kennedy thing and he should not be there, whatever. So I said, oh no, I don't even want to go there. I don't want to go there. So it seemed because I was so caught off balance that I might have seemed rude to say, I'm not going there with y'all today. I did it just like that. And that was me and my oneness with spirit. Because what was my oneness with spirit doing? Telling me to be honest. Don't sit there and bite your tongue and so, oh yeah, he's right. I don't want to know what he did and why and all that. That's not new. You know what I want to know? I wonder if I went out here and did this 12-week session I'm about to do in the first week of January, how this gonna be. I wonder if I introduced to my class. I wonder if that's what I want to hear. I don't want to hear what he's doing, because what is he doing? Putting me in that non-vibrational place with my oneness with spirit. I can't afford it. It's not that I don't want it, I can't afford it. So that's not in my healing. My entire healing experience is in what Sonja read. And what it read was, wonder softens our resistance. So my resistance to all of that, listening to him and being mad about him. Well, what about if I decided to go over here today and throw that in my class? Well, maybe I should call that person over there and do something like that. What it does, it softens my resistance. And next thing you know, I'm not thinking about that situation because I have no control over that. And I told that to people that were talking to me. You can't control it. Let it go. It's not rude to be real. Oh, my God, I can't believe I said that. It's true. It's not rude to be real. But if you're going to always go, oh, I can't say that to them. What? So then you're going to bite your nails because you can't take it, and everything that you're listening to, that wonder you're listening to is going into your body. The wonder of what they're saying. Really, he did that? Oh my God! Now you're wondering about him. Your system is breaking down. All kinds of things is happening inside of you, and that deep trust that you have in life starts to wither away because you are listening to one man and his idiosyncrasies, whatever you want to call it. But what about that life that's always unfolding for your highest good that's within inside of you, that oneness with spirit? See, we believe, I don't want you to know, we do at Science of Mind. It's not just we just say it, but we believe that heaven is within us. And see, this is an experience that to the degree that we become conscious of it. Or should I say, as much as you believe it, that's how deep the degree will be. That's how you become conscious, to believe it, right? So wonder puts you in a state of consciousness that opens you to be aware of the heaven in your reality. So the heaven in my reality, for example, is, wow, I love all the things I'm doing. This is the life that I'm living. Always wanted to be a leader. Always wanted to be this coach. Always wanted to help people heal their bodies, their minds, and their spirit. All three. This is heaven for me. That's my reality. And so many people are constantly retorting. Rosedale did this. And I'm getting all of these things at my company talking about how she did this and how she did that. And it's not because I'm trying to do it, it's because that's who I am. And I always wondered how it would feel to be here. But you got to start wondering where you need to be next. See, many people who believe that heaven is this distant place somewhere far off, that you got to die to get there, you've got to change that belief. See? Wonder has the power to heal all situations and all the conditions in our lives. All. I didn't say, well, maybe not. No, all. All you need is just one small shift in belief. One small shift in belief. could be that one thing you needed. And all you had to do was say, I don't, like this girl who was telling me, well, the reason why I know that we are going to hell in a handbasket, or whatever they were saying, it's because he's going to do this and he's going to do that. And what is that going to do for you? I just want to know. When people keep saying silly things, I want to know. So what is that going to do for you? Was that going to take away your house? Is that going to take away food off your table? Is that going to, oh, remember the three things? It's not taking money out of my pocket. It's not taking food off my table, right? No, it's not. Because I refuse to let that happen. But see, there's always something better. So I got to say, wonder what's better for me to do right now with these people talking. What's going in my mind? So I'm going to either don't ask me questions like that, tell people, because I don't want to answer those questions, but just don't give me that information. And I have gotten to that where I'm really feeling really good about myself, because I can tell you, no, I don't do that. Don't want to talk about it. And everybody knows we're not going to do that, because that's when I fully embrace heaven. See, when we fully embrace heaven, that means that, oh my God, I am having a good time here. I'm feeling good. I'm not listening to that because I know that tomorrow I have this to do. And in about 15 minutes, I have that to do. I am doing something that's great, but I'm not using heaven as some situation that I have to wait to die to feel it. It's a difference. Because if you are always talking about your sickness, if you are always talking about your sadness, you are waiting to die. It's something, heaven is something that we live with right here and right now. So let's not get twisted over heaven or hell anymore. Got it? Because the idea of somebody going to hell is about as realistic as me trying to sell ice to Eskimos. And I doubt, very serious, they're going to want my ice. It's not, you got to reduce things to the ridiculous so you can start to say to yourself, that's funny, that's ridiculous. But I used to think, I laugh at what I used to be like today. So heaven or hell are not places. They're just states of consciousness. Okay, that's all they are. And you're either on the love side or the fear side. You choose, because it's your choice. And if you're looking at life with frustration, anger, fear, guess where you are? You already know you're on the love side. But if you shift one small shift in belief, your mind to feeling happy and passionate and curiosity, you're on the love side. Wonder what would happen if. And at the same time, if you can focus that thought on the joy of you having it and leave all that dramatic afterlife debates about what's going to happen after your life, leave it to the storytellers, because that's for the masses to be controlled anyway. In other words, if you want to experience heaven, keep wondering. That's heaven. It's within you, and all it is doing is waiting to be discovered. That's how we get to do what we got. When you want to use your talents, it's just waiting for you to discover it. And here, when you hear it, then if you decide that, well, I can't do it today because I got, okay, well then, darling, but here's the deal. The more you wonder, the more you can feel heaven. And that isn't somewhere way out there. It's not. It's just that simple. So when we're searching for something specific, that shapes our perception and it influences what we see. So if I want something that's very, very difficult, I either have to break it down to the ridiculous or let it go for a minute and come back and shape my perception around it before I can do anything else, because whatever I'm thinking, it's going to influence my manifestation. All our beliefs, all our past experiences, all our culture, all of them, I keep saying, it's a filter. And that filter that we see through past beliefs, old hurts, old bad experiences, and what they taught us as a culture all that stuff coming through that funnel. And then at the bottom of that thing is what we are. That's how we perceive the world. So do you want to put all that stuff in your funnel now, or do you want to just get it out of your funnel by working with your spiritual practices, by working with wonder, by trying to see, well, I wonder if I didn't believe it that way, the way they said it. I wonder if this could be true instead of that. Oh, but don't put why did Aunt Susie used to cut the two ends off the ham before she puts it in the oven? Well, because you thought it was some special formula to it when she probably did it because she didn't have a big enough pan. So something really minute, but you'd probably think it's some great thing. I must do it the way she did it. Let the culture go for a minute. Who are you? Because see, problems don't feel as overwhelming when you start to wonder and you start to look at it. What if I saw it differently? Then your heart begins to open to new possibility. I'm telling you, and I'm not telling you this so you can say, well, I don't know if that's true or not. I'm telling you from my experience. I noticed the beauty in the little things, like a smile from somebody in the store, or a smile just walking down my street and somebody says, hello, how are you? The sound of rain, simple stuff like that. I wake up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, right? I hear the raindrop on the window. The most important thing is, look, I'm alive. Or just the feeling of being alive. You don't know why I'm excited the way I am, because the way I used to be, and how I'm glad that I'm not there. Your energy changes, and so does the energy around you. But you got to wonder how that's done. How do I do this? How do I do it? Well, if you're going to just say, how do I do it? And go, I don't know. I don't see it. Well, remember, when you're in wonder, you are curious. And when you're curious, oh my goodness, you're not looking at what's going on in the world. You are disengaged from what's going on in the White House, because your mind right now, because you're so curious, is in the field with your energy of miracles. So wonder gives you a peaceful mind. And that peaceful mind is not just disengaged. It's a mind that's well governed. I keep saying that word. I train my mind because I'm constantly training it. The minute I say something, I say it like this. The minute I say something stupid or ridiculous in my conversation with me, as I'm driving, as I'm walking, as whatever, where are you going with that? That's my question. And if I don't give myself a good answer, I'm about to get off this. I'm getting off this train because it ain't taking me nowhere but down to the valley. I'm not choosing to go down there. Sometimes we got to allow our mind to go on trips. And I like metaphors. So we have to have the trip that takes us flying, right? We got to have it. Or either like helps me flow like water. Like when I was teaching last week in the aqua yoga class, and all of us were like floating, nobody thought about their problems. What problems? What issues? All they heard was the sound of my voice as they meditated in the float. That's even I couldn't hear nothing but me and spirit. I was flowing. And then also there's another thing. Be strong as a tree. That's another metaphor. But I'm always going, let's flow, guys. Because that's all we got right here. We got a whole hour just to be us. Music lyrics invite us to let go like that. And the music I choose is always something, because I even think of the music before I do certain things that I'm going to do a certain class with. Let go, relax, and allow yourself to be carried by the notes, the lyrics, and that spirit that's moving through, in, and as us. That's what I like to do. So take a deep breath and open your mind and your heart and get ready to fly. And listen to the song, I Believe I Can Fly by Yolanda. Wow, if that wasn't powerful, I don't want to know what you think is powerful. Just believe I can fly. And you know what that's to remind us of? That this is the new us. Because now we're deciding, okay, I believe I can, so I believe in wonder. So because I believe in wonder, and I ask a simple question, my imagination and my curiosity starts to turn. So let go of the resistance and trust right now in your wonder, because heaven is a state of wonder, and health is heaven, and prosperity is heaven. So let's go to heaven now. So let's fly. And let me say this much. It comes down to a simple choice. Which state will you choose? The state of the hell of being stuck, or the state of heaven being in wonder? You choose. Now I'll hand the mic back over to our awesome. Hey, nice. Alan and Terry P. Boy, I tell you what, between the two of you, he's taking us to Funky Town from the transformation station, and Timmy P is taking us to Wonderland. So this just all works for me. Thank you guys for that. But I just want to tell you, even if you're on YouTube and you hear this, CSL Charlotte is not something you donate to me or for church. This is more than a church. This is a transformation station. What happens is real. It has changed me and how I show up and how I lead and how I live. See, I've watched it do the same for other people that I work for now and I work with on a daily basis, one-on-ones. And I'm telling you something, all I do is use these principles, mind, body, spirit principles. And these principles have transformed my life, and I get insight to help others to heal. And their healing makes me more and more. That's my reward. So when I circulate my money, my time and energy here, that's my reward, watching more healing. So as you drop your guards as a means to protect you from circulating your money, you will change and prosper too. But it's really not about all that. It's about keeping the wonders of spiritual living, that conversation about it, within your life, but keep it honest. So as you give notice, are you choosing the wonders of spiritual living? Just think about that and let that go. So before we close out, remember, today was literally about the wonders of spiritual living. So when you're ready to experience the wonders of spiritual living, every moment is an invitation. It's an invitation to a new way of seeing, a new way of relating to your life, and a new way of living from what? Awareness. So before we close out, all we need is to use our imagination for the wonders of spiritual living. And then as 2025 completes and 2026 begins, we can say Happy New Year. And I will expand that greeting to say Happy New You. So prepare yourself for all parts that are written in your world and the parts that are not written. Because when you choose what you want to write that next chapter, remember this. After today, the rest is still unwritten. So wonder what you want to write about for your life to be. Because wonder speaks directly to your curiosity, your oneness with spirit, and your newness. So allow what's unwritten to write a new you. Start your chapter for 2026. Let's name it. Remember what I said earlier? The better it gets, the better it gets. That's going to be my book. The better it gets, the better it gets. Listen to the song Unwritten, once again by Natasha Bedingfield. That rain, because nobody can speak it for you, and you're the only one that can write that next chapter for you. Because I'm going to wait now and stop right here, because you're going to hear some beautiful closing remarks from my friend and colleague, Reverend Sonja. She's going to give us some closing remarks to close out 2025 with us, because we didn't do our beautiful celebration that we do, but this is a powerful one here that's about to happen. So let's do that. And right on the heels of her, we're going to have Dr. Wanda go after Reverend Sonia. So first, Reverend Sonia is going to close us out with the remarks. And let's do that. And then right behind that, we're going to go right with Dr. Wanda.
Well, I can't express enough how much I gained from being in this community. And these are my notes. So as I'm stepping into 2026, my notes are only as good as I pick them up and I use them. And Reverend Roselle kind of alluded to that today, that taking classes, but until your consciousness comes to a point where you can embody these teachings, it's just information. We have to take it and now do something with it. And so I'm so inspired by that. I had a lot of words, living in wonder, and step into the sacred dance of life. Can you feel that? And that song that no one can speak it for you, the words on your lips, no one can speak it for you. No one can live this life for you. And we've been given the tools, and we've been given the tools to find that place called heaven that is talked about all the time. It's not somewhere you go, it's something that you embody. Heaven is within you, and it only to the degree that you become conscious of it. And so she said, let life flow. She said, align with spirit. And then you can step into a new year as a new you. Let it flow. Get within the flow. Allow yourself to take these tools and these teachings and live that life in wonder that you want. Don't be afraid to want. Don't be afraid to want. And I wrote down, just like she said, each day, the better it gets, the better it gets. So as you step into, leave 2025 behind, we take the lessons that we learned and all the things that we've gained, and we step into 2026 renewed. A new year, a new you. Happy New Year, everyone. It's my honor to be in this community. Thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you for that, Reverend Sonja. That was wonderful. I find that it's not just 2026, it's every moment of every day is a new destination. The planet, the people, the spirit is always evolving. There's no end destination. The opportunities are infinite. So every day, every choice we make is a new opportunity. So, with that, I'd like to close today with this closing prayer, this affirmative prayer. I'd like to give thanks for the sacred time of remembering that we've shared today. I affirm that the wisdom shared today and the love felt and the truth recognized here are alive within us now. Nothing is lost. Everything needed has been received. Spiritual understanding continues to unfold gently and naturally as we move forward. We know that the wonders of the spiritual living are not confined to this moment or this place. They walk with us into our daily lives, into our conversations, into our choices, into our acts of compassion. We affirm that Spirit expresses through us with ease, clarity, and purpose. We release any sense of separation, doubt, or limitation, knowing that we are forever connected to divine life. I trust that the inner guidance that leads us toward peace, healing, and right action is affirmative. We affirm that love goes before us, walks beside us, walks to either side. We are guided, led, and enveloped in spirit. We leave this service today, and as we do so, we are renewed, uplifted, and aligned. We carry the light of spiritual living into the world, blessing all that we encounter by our presence and actions alone. With grateful hearts and confident faith, we rest in knowing that all is well, all is unfolding perfectly, all is guided by love, and so it is.
It is, oh my goodness, this couldn't have been a better service ever. We had Reverend Sonja, we had Dr. Wanda, we had them to bless our whole ending of 2025 to take us in to 2026. So as we wrap up our time together with the wonders of spiritual living this week, sit with your curiosity this week. Feel yourself on a journey. Feel yourself imagine and be in wonder with the wonders of spiritual living. And remember the universe. Remember, the universe is always supporting you on your journey. But until we meet again, start practicing living with that new you, because you got 2 or 3 more days left. There's a new you on the rise. Once you close that door on Thursday night, Wednesday night, from midnight, January 1, I want you to know I'm rooting for a happy new you. And so it is.